Well, I've got my Christmas colors on and I'm feeling festive. I hope you are too. Welcome back to Brown Bird News.
Hi everyone. Recently I've had more than one request asking me for my thoughts on the best bird book for one state or province. Here's my advice on the matter. I'll assume that if one can use email to submit the original request, then using the internet, say Google or Amazon, is not a stretch. So here's what I would do. Just go to one of those browsers and type in Birds of Florida or Birds of Georgia or whatever geographic entity you wish to cover with your bird identification. Click on Books. A number of book covers will appear with the title and the author and, most important, the year the latest edition was published and a brief description of the book's contents. Try to find a volume that's no older than 5 or 6 years so you get the very latest information on what birds are found in the area you want to cover. And then you've got to make a decision. Do you want a guide to cover just your state or province, your region, for example, southeastern U.S., or the western or eastern half of your country? The greater the area, the greater the number of species are presented to add to the confusion. It's one of the reasons why I'm so proud of my involvement as the consulting editor of Pocket Birds of Canada. While I love David Sibley's Eastern and Western Guides to the Birds of North America, those wanting to just identify bird species found within Canada's borders might consider opting for the more specific book, Pocket Birds of Canada. But having said all that, feel free to ask me my opinion on any book on birds. I'll always be happy to help you.
Normally we wait until December to turn on our Christmas lights, but this year we were encouraged to turn them on a little bit earlier to make the town look a little bit festive, to kind of cheer everyone up a little bit, especially because we haven't had much snow this winter. And even though most households are now using LED lights, which don't consume that much energy, we still have to bear in mind that leaving your lights on during the day does consume energy, and then leaving them on during the night might disturb sleep patterns of your neighbors, and it does disturb nocturnal wildlife. So I'm encouraging you to turn on your Christmas lights when it gets dark outside, and then to turn them off before you go to bed. Cheryl Pearson and Susan McKenna have a question about cedar and Bohemian waxwings and how to attract them.
Hi Susan and Cheryl. You both obviously share a love for those beautifully sculpted waxwings, whether they be the cedar waxwing or the Bohemian waxwing. Cheryl, you were wondering why your cedar waxwings are at your place one year and not there another year. So one must keep in mind that both cedar and Bohemian waxwings are strongly nomadic in the off-breeding season, and they tend to roam around in search of ripening berry crops. They particularly like mountain ash berries. Perhaps the birds that normally visit your area for your service berries in the past found some other source of food. We scientists have no idea as to how these birds program the location and timing of ripening berry crops. It's possible that the ones who led the way to your service berry crop have since died out. I can tell you two things though. Cedar waxwings are not in any kind of serious trouble as a species, and you can rest assured that they'll be back. That is, if the other birds leave any berries for them. Susan, you asked me whether apple slices might attract your beloved Bohemian waxwings to your feeder. Waxwings don't easily come to feeders, but they can be persuaded if you offer suitable foods in large open platform or tray feeders where waxwing flocks can feel most comfortable. Some combination of cranberries, raisins, currants, chopped grapes, and small apple chunks may tempt them.
As much as we love our kids, I know a few parents who are looking forward to that 18th birthday when they can send their kids off into the world to fend for themselves. Well, it's a good thing our kids are not songbirds. A new study conducted by Todd Jones at the University of Illinois shows that certain species of songbirds like golden-cheeked warblers and brown thrushes and many others are quite brutal when it comes to parenting. In the avian world, there's a phenomenon known as early fledging, when a baby bird gets kicked out of a nest. Normally, there's a reason for that. It's like a threat from a predator. But in some cases, researchers notice that a baby bird is being kicked out of its nest for no obvious reason way before it's ready to go. Well, apparently some songbirds have this need to do this for the good of the brood. even though the survival rates are still not that high. And bird parents don't just kick the baby out with their feet and their wings. No, they just reduce the amount of food they give to that baby bird to the point that it gets so hungry it has no choice but to leave the nest. The Red Siskin, check out how gorgeous this bird is, has been on the IUCN endangered list for years, with only small populations of it found in northern Venezuela and Colombia. Because of its incredibly vibrant color, this bird is highly sought after for illegal bird trade. And then in 2003, a few thousand of red siskins were discovered in a remote area of Guyana, known as the Rapanani Savanna. Ever since, researchers and conservationists have been working hard to protect that area. And now, as of this month, Guyana has created its first IBA, Important Bird and Biodiversity Area, which means that whole territory is now being protected against habitat destruction and poaching. On top of that, Guyana has received multiple international funds to start educational programs and help local businesses develop in a sustainable manner. BirdLife International is truly an amazing organization. Recently, I talked about them approaching the EU government to ban all lead ammunition because of the effects of secondary poisoning. But guess what? Last week, the EU government announced that they will be introducing new policies to ban all lead ammunition. Member countries have 2 years to implement this policy, which is great news for wetlands. Studies show that in the EU, about 1 million wetland birds die annually because of secondary poisoning. Now it's time to get North America on board as well. Well, that's it. That's all for today. Please don't forget to turn off your Christmas lights before you go to bed. And if you participate in our photo contest, don't forget to identify the birds. Take care, everyone. I'll catch you in 2 weeks.